For my underdogs, the ones willing to pay the cost. Even when we're up, we gotta take a loss. Underdogs are always against the odds. I'ma use this opportunity to do it for my underdogs. I'ma do this for my underdogs. I'ma do this for my underdogs. I'ma do this for my underdogs. Yeah, my underdogs.
Welcome back to another episode of the Rec Center Podcast. I'm Kenny Edwards, joined with my co-host and my home dog. I don't know, that was hella weird, home dog, but we ain't one of them moves today, fellas. We ain't one of them.
One of them, right?
One of them moves. But I'm joined here with Lorenzo Parham. What's going on, man?
What's going on, Ken, man? Every episode I got to do a shout out to our past guests, man. So shout out to Deuce for last week's episode, man. Deuce brought it. All the energy Deuce brought it. Open tech guy, man. One of the things is, Ken, I like delivering, right? Delivering on what people be asking for and doing interviews with people I don't know too much of the story, which is why we have our guest on right now. A guest that's from generations that's after us, a generation or half after us, man. So the story gonna have to be enlightening because I'm on the edge of my seat to figure out this good brother's story, to talk about them MACK days he had when he was there. We talked about a lot of people from MACK and the transition it was from Zoe in the 80s, Dante and Will Levy in the 90s, down to hear someone that came with Kellogg in early 2000, 2001, to hear my brother Justin Stanley when he came in that them 2007, 8, 9, in those eras, man. So to hear his story, I'm on edge of my seat and letting the audience know, man, the people know that we listen. We brought a guy in that one from our generation. You guys can tune into his story. Maybe next time we get somebody from the 70s and 80s because you guys ask for these things. So I'm glad we able to deliver. Brother Justin, welcome to the Rec Center, man.
Man, first of all, I just want to say thank you guys for having me. I tuned into the show. Super dope podcast, man. Really, can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Yes, sir.
Okay, cool. Like I said, man, thanks for having me. I'm excited to tell my story. It's my first one, man, so I'm excited for this. I was waiting for y'all.
Absolutely. Hold on, this is the first time you about to tell your story?
Yep. I'm usually in the other seat.
So I'm about to say you got the podcast going and everything, and made me and Ken say we got to step our game up because you got like some lighting in some rooms and stuff, right? But hey, so we're gonna talk about that later on, how you got involved into the podcasting. And the players that you interviewing is really dope because you getting them players that's from the generation that you come from, and we getting the older generation. And then when our viewers able to tap into both podcasts, they get the OAL for at least a 25-year run from the 80s to what you're doing, man. So Justin, are you a West Oakland kid, and what rec center you grew up playing at?
I actually started playing at Rainbow. So I'm from East Oakland, but my family is from the West. So my pops and all of them. My uncle actually played at MACK back in the day. His name is B.D. Stanley. And like my whole family went to MACK as well. And I actually didn't. I ended up, I'll tell you guys later, but I ended up only going to MACK for my senior year. So I went to another high school for my first 3 years. So like I said, once we get to that point of the story.
Once we get to high school, definitely. So I want to see how that transition, because a lot of people don't go to, I guess some people do transfer to MACK for their senior year if you're a hooper. Right. Shout out to Greedy.
Hey, so on that note, somebody texted me the other day and was like, if Deuce would have left and went to MACK, he would have been hated just as much as John Simpson. Because John Simpson left Tech and went to MACK.
He did leave Tech and go to MACK, right?
I forgot about that.
John Simpson did leave Tech and go to MACK. Yeah. And shout out to Simp. Hey, you know what that is? And we did hate John Simpson after that. Like, John Simpson, if you listening, you were hated for leaving Tech and going to MACK after not finishing what you started, right? So Justin, what was Rainbow like when the era you played? We had, who else was that Rainbow kid? Was it Tim Pierce?
Yep.
Tim Pierce was a Rainbow kid. What was it like when you were there during them days?
Man, so I actually started hooping playing with the Oakland Bulldogs. So I played under Tim West. I don't know if you guys know him, but he's
I know Tim.
Rainbow. So that's when it was lit, man. That's when everybody was in Rainbow. And it's crazy because I just recently put out my interview with Tim Pierce, and I was telling him, I remember being a kid, seeing him and his father walking through the gym all the time, and he didn't know me at the time because I was so much younger than him. But man, Rainbow was lit at that time, man. Lit. lit. They was having the house leagues where they was drafting us, and man, it was lit, man. Those were the good days, man.
Hey, when you say drafting, you talking about when you were younger or during your teenage years for like ONBL type league?
Oh man, I want to say I was probably like in the 5th or 6th grade. And what they would do was they would just have like it would I don't even think it was the ONBL. It was like a Junior Warriors League or something. Some Melvin and them was doing.
Yeah.
And then what they did was
Freddie was a part of that Junior Warriors League too. Freddie too. I remember that. So you doing that league. When you say you're playing Oakland Bulldog, with that, I'm a little older right now. Was that AAU or was that just that league? AAU. Who all was on that team with you that was like really dope and ended up being cool in high school?
Oh man, it was me, Alim Moore, who works with the Golden State Warriors right now. I don't know if you guys know Will and Chris Brew. They both
St. Joe's.
St. Mary's.
Yeah.
They were on that team. Who else was on that team with me? Man, I got a bad memory. I don't remember.
They all gonna hate you now.
Yeah, I know. I don't care.
Come on, Val, could you forgive me? I was scoring 35 a game.
But we were nice though. We were nice, and then that next year I ended up going to the Rebels with like me, Jared Cunningham, Shaheed Young, Kevin Green. We was stacked. We was like running all of this. We was one of the best teams in the country. That was my 6th grade year. And then my 7th grade years when they brought the Soldiers team, and the Shaheed and all of them and Big Kev all went to the Soldiers. So we kind of took a hit, but we still battled with them.
That's crazy, because I feel like when we grew up, it was 1 or 2 football teams, the Dynamites and the Saints, 1 or 2 basketball teams, the Rebels and the Bruins. Now in his generation, it's 5, 6 different teams.
And look how many it is now.
Look, I was about to say now it's like. Hey, listen to me. What I don't like about it now is the fact that like when we played, Ken, we didn't care what our team was gonna look like. I stayed with Pal
organization
when I was 9 to 15. It wasn't like I'm about to go jump away from Pal. Even though we knew Allen Temple was going to go lose 1 game, 2 games, have these battles with us, Spray Mark, Cobras. We was like, we gotta beat them. We not like we talking about hated.
Right.
Can you imagine having to go play dome with a team that you just
you left all your partners?
Team? You can jump middle of the village.
No, like literally jumped.
Jump. You can't switch up back then. You can't switch up.
You know what's crazy? Not to cut you off, but you guys know Damon Powell, right?
Yeah, of course.
Matt. He he's my godbrother also. So we played AAU together from little kids, all like from when we met him was like in the 8th grade. My dad brought him over, and we all the way throughout high school he played with me. And we had a tournament one time in LA, and the guy, I'm not gonna say his name, but a guy came on a trip with us and ended up quitting in mid-tournament. And Damon Powell pretty much chased the dude out the hotel. like we paid you to come out here. Like it ain't good for you to just jump ship.
Man, that you couldn't do that, man. Like that was part of the Oakland in us, though. You know what I'm saying? I think this team hop, jump, switching, that's part of the new Oakland, man. The old Oakland, we was stuck with our team. We was riding it out, man.
Oakland-ish.
I know the Oakland-ish people. They a little Oakland, but a little Oakland-ish, right? That's them, right? I hate that brand, bro. I hate that brand. Hey, but Justin, man, so coming through, where did you go to middle school at? Where were you going to middle school?
I went to Bret Hart.
Bret Hart.
Off of Coolidge, yep. So
I'm a Bret Hart guy myself.
Oh, really?
I went to Bret Hart, yeah.
Oh, that's what's up, yo. So I played for Coach Brown at Bret Hart.
Coach Brown. Shout out to Coach Brown, man, because even John Tarr talked about Coach Brown and stuff like that. And Marquine Chandler talked about
everybody talking about Coach Brown.
Yeah, that's how long he was at Bret Hart for, and coaching a lot of kids that came through Bret Hart, because he was the 6th grade coach, 7th grade, then 6th grade coach. He got the kids first, Ken. He got them first.
He groomed them
before they became as great as they became, right? So he had Mark Malone, John Tarr, Shamari Beverly, even the guys that, because back then we all played every sport. So even a football guy that was good played basketball at Bret Hart with Coach Brown. So shout out to Coach Brown.
And he's a MACK legend too, man.
I didn't know he went to MACK. I didn't know he went to MACK.
They say him and his brother. I don't know if his brother's older than him or not. I don't even remember his name. But I heard that they're both like legendary back in the 70s, which is ironic that you said that.
Might got to get Coach Brown on for our 70th
Yeah.
interview, Ken.
We got to.
Might got to get Coach Brown on. So Justin, how did you?
His number too.
Did you start off? So you said you went to a different high school starting off. Did you start off as? Did you go to Skyline first? Because you was right down at Bret Hart.
I went to Amador Valley in Pleasanton. Yeah.
Amador Valley and were they good? How did that move come about?
Happen?
So my dad came home from a vacation, I would say, and he had to, report to that city. And then I was at Bret Hart, and it was crazy. I had got caught shooting dice, and my mom was hella disappointed. And it wasn't a big deal because the Miss Giles was the principal there, assistant principal there at the time, and she also taught my older sister. So she knew my whole family. So she kind of called my mom, and she was one of those principals which my mama let her grab me up by my ear and all of that.
Yeah.
So it was crazy because I made the decision to go out there. I was like, man, I'm tripping. I kind of start being a knucklehead and running around, kind of being a product of my environment. And then I just wanted to see something different, and to be honest with you, it changed my life, man. And I feel like right now I work for in the banking industry, and me going to that school kind of let me learn how to coexist in any habitat. You know what I mean? I had the Oakland side to where I can fit in and have a conversation with my dogs, and then have the more what do you call it,
diverse communicative side. Right. The diverse communicative side.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly.
What was your welcome to Amador moment? Because we always talk about a welcome to the OAL moment, but what was your welcome to I'm not in Oakland anymore moment?
Oh, it wasn't good.
Oh, I'm sure.
I
can almost imagine what it pertains.
Yeah, right. You know what's crazy? I had a dude tell me from across the classroom as a freshman. He goes like this: "Hey, tell your grandfather thanks for this shirt." Swear to God. And
because it was a
cotton.
Because it was a cotton shirt.
And I had a teacher tell me, I never forget. It was my freshman year. I had a teacher tell me, "Have you guys seen the movie American History X?"
I have not.
Okay, so there's something on in that movie that's pretty known that's called the curb stomp, and they would make the black people bite the curb and they would stomp on the back of their head
and kill them.
Right. So the teacher comes to me and goes, "Man, don't you think?" He taps me like, "Don't you think kids that don't do their homework should get curb stomped?" But I don't think he knew I had saw that movie. So I won't say what I said to him, but we ended up in each other's face. They tried to not let me play on the basketball team no more. Like it got bad. But those are the type of things I was dealing with. But then there were a lot of teachers there was a teacher named Miss Pereira, I believe her name was, and she also taught at Hayward at one point. So like she really took a liking to me. You know what I mean? And it wasn't all bad. I mean, there's can I curse?
Yeah, you can curse.
Off the rec center.
Oh, yeah, my bad.
You know, ain't nothing but shit talking going on in the rec center. We talking shit.
Right, but it wasn't all assholes, man. I met some great people, still some of my closest friends to this day. So it wasn't like it wasn't a bad, but I did deal with some of that crazy shit.
Yeah, absolutely.
Man, I can imagine, Ken, being at Amador Valley from Oakland. Like I was able to move to Pleasanton when I came back from college. So back then I was leaving Arizona State. I can adapt and be in Pleasanton, right? But to have to go from Oakland, Bret Hart, Seminary, Rainbow, to go to Amador, it's like, yo, I got to go hoop on these outside courts and just welcoming.
It was crazy because my first year I was coming there with rest in peace hoodies and shit on. And everybody was so thrown off. Like, why do you have somebody's face on your foot?
Right. What are they ripping?
Right. Right.
Hey, man. So after your first year there, you get that welcome to Amador Valley moment. What was it like playing hoop there, your freshman, sophomore, junior year?
So I tore my ACL. So a lot of people don't know I only played 2 years of varsity basketball in high school.
Your junior and senior year?
Yep, my junior and senior year, yep.
So what year did you tear your ACL?
My freshman year.
Freshman year, okay.
But so I tore all 5 ligaments in my knee. So I was out for I couldn't even run. I couldn't even run for 18 months.
Whoa.
I couldn't even start working out. I was on bed rest for 8 weeks. I had to go to homeschool.
Did you gain a bunch of weight?
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I figured that.
Hell yeah.
That's crazy. So it ran into your 10th grade year?
Huh?
It ran into your 10th grade year?
Yeah, yep. I didn't get to play my 10th grade year at all. I came back like that summer, the end of my AAU team, we went to the Kingwood Classic and that was my first tournament back. But I was hella fat. I had that big ass brace on, and I missed. What's crazy is my first game back. I was always a pretty decent free throw shooter. I think I shot like probably like 88% or something like that. So I was, but we were playing against some team, and I got fouled in a 1-on-1 at the end of the game, my first game back, and I missed the front end of it, and that shit killed me. That shit killed me because I'm super hard on myself. But yeah, it was tough getting back used to it, man.
Man, I can imagine, like, back then we didn't have I can name 2 people that tore their ACL my whole life in high school, right? One person did it before. Tabiti Lockhart, while we had Bret Hart, he's trying to dunk, but he was sagging. And he pants on me, and Tabiti tore his ACL. We had a dude named Harold back when I was at Tech that tore his ACL. And it was the first time I heard it. And back then, it wasn't a year-long injury unless you'd done something like Justin did that tore all 5 ligaments in your knee, right? Back then, people was coming back from 6 months, and you back from your ACL. And now you're seeing this whole, it's a year-long, torn ACL, year-long injury off top nowadays. And just to work your way back from that and get ready for that junior year, when did you finally get up to full speed with your whole injury and being playing?
Not until, because I had to wear that brace for a year, and I don't feel like I fully got comfortable until I was able to take the brace off. So I would say the summer going into my senior year is when I kind of became comfortable, because you guys know Brandon Ashley.
Yep.
So he went to O'Dowd. He's actually playing in the G League right now with that Team Ignite team with Jalen Green and them.
Yeah.
But his older sister went to Amador with me as well, and she was really good. Me and her tore our ACLs, I think like a week apart, and she tore her shit every year again. And I luckily, I never had to deal with that, but I always had those people around me. And then one of my other teammates from AAU, Brandon Scott, he went to Midi, a white dude. He tore his like around the same time I tore mine too, and then he tore his again too. Luckily, I never tore mine again, but I wasn't psychologically right until like a year later.
That's what I'm worried about with the mental aspect of a torn ACL, and when do you trust it? When do you trust jumping and landing, and how does that thought play into the psychological aspect of the athlete that have that injury? I never tore an ACL, never broke a bone before, or none of that.
Never broke a bone?
Like, never.
Wow.
Never.
You know what's crazy? I thought I never broke a bone, and then I found out I had been playing on a broken foot for 3 years in college.
Damn.
Wow.
And rest in peace to the GOAT, but that's why I don't hoop in Kobe's, because I was hooping in Kobe's. Remember when they first started the low top thing?
Yep.
I
thought I just twisted my ankle, and then one day I was getting I don't like going to the doctor, man. I hate that shit.
Yeah.
I don't want them telling me what's wrong with me. So I was in the training room in college, and the trainer was doing the ultrasound on my foot, and it was hurting me really bad. And he was like, "Man, that means that you have some broken bones in there, so you need to go to the X-ray." And they forced me to put a cast on.
Damn.
Forced me to put a cast on. But that was, like I said, later on in college. But it was messed up because when you got to remember, I'm at Amador, so I'm going through a culture shock, super culture shock. And then the one thing that is my sanctuary, my happiness, gets taken away from me. You know what I mean? So now I can't play for 2 years. Like I said, I gained all this weight. I was walking through the school like I was a super loner. I had no friends really or nothing. And then my junior year, when I was able to play, and because they didn't know I was good in basketball at all. So when I was able to play my junior year, I became one of the biggest people in the school because I was good. And obviously, I had a guy on my team named Kevin Lau. He was a 7-foot guy with one arm. So we had a camera. We had like a cameraman following us. So I did a movie on him and everything. I'm all in the movie, and it's crazy. Like, a cameraman literally following us everywhere. So our team and we were pretty decent. We lost to Berkeley High, I think, in the playoffs. But I mean, I was killing. I was at that time. I was busting ass.
Are you still Oakland connected at this time? Because
what you mean?
Are you still because you played AAU in Oakland?
And I still lived in Oakland.
You still okay? So you're still having your friends, and MACK is going on tears. Yeah. You got a bum knee.
Right. And it's crazy because I was the ball boy for MACK when I was a little kid. So back when you guys know Yaya, the actor now?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So back when he played, him and my uncle were really, really tight. He probably doesn't remember me, obviously, whatever. But I used to be the ball boy for MACK. So like when Kellogg and all them dudes, I was always, around because my uncle BD would work me out. So I was MACK to the core. And then when I didn't go to MACK, it threw everybody off. You see what I'm saying? So it wasn't like people, it was funny. Years later, man, on Twitter, me and Will Cherry was laughing about this. A random page hit me and told me I was the first KD because I was the fifth KD on Twitter. So his thing was how KD joined the Warriors. I joined the 32-0 MACK undefeated team, and kind of nobody really knew that I was already tapped into MACK. Will before that, you know what I mean?
Hey, but while you were out injured, were you ever in MACK? Like Ken said, going on this tear, were you ever thinking like, damn, I should have never came out here. I would have never tore my ACL. I'd have been in Oakland. Did those thoughts go through your head?
Yeah, because every summer it was a big deal if Justin was coming to MACK. So like every year it was like, okay, I'm about to come. And then I wasn't, I never came until my senior year. And that's why my senior year when it happened, Will Cherry didn't believe me. He walked in class and saw me. It was like, oh shit. Finally. But I had worked out with him in the summer every year, and I was a part of everything, but I didn't go there.
When you left and came to MACK, I'm gonna get into your senior year that you come to MACK. Was it any kind of hate from the school you were leaving, trying to block the transfer? Because we talked to a couple of guys on here where coaches was blocking transfers, not hating. Who was that? Armand Wainwright. Shout out to Bird. Shout out to Bird, who had the whole Fremont season canceled because they ruled his transfer ineligible. We had.
Oh, that's the guy Coach Mo talked about.
Yeah. And then we had Tim Pierce on. TP said they tried to block him when he transferred out there because of his situation. Did they try to block you as well when you came?
No, because my grandmother lived literally right across the street from MACK. It was nothing they could do. And then so my head coach at Amador, he also coached Wendell McKinnis and Eli Holman at Richmond High.
Okay.
So when he came to me, he came to Amador when I was a freshman, and that's when I got hurt. So we were already cool whenever. And what's crazy is that's my guy, man. My first day of school, my junior year, I almost got robbed because I used to catch the BART out there. So my dad ended up moving back to Oakland, and then I would still go there. So my junior year, I used to catch BART. My first day of school, I almost got robbed. Some dudes chased me at BART when I was coming home. And every day for the rest of that school year, Coach Collins would pick me up. He lived in, I think, Walnut Creek. He would stop at my house in Oakland on High Street, pick me up and drop me to school because he was a PE teacher also. And then on his way home, he would drop me back off at home every day.
Wow.
After practice, every day.
Man, that's much needed, man. That's much needed. But when you get there, you, Will Cherry, that senior year, who was y'all competition like in the OEL? Nobody. This was and you came after the 32-0 season. Right. Okay, now
they already had. So to set the stage, MACK already been to the state championship twice.
Right, back to back.
Lost the first one, won the second one, undefeated.
Right.
They get Coach Mo steps down.
Right.
After the undefeated season. Boozy's now the head coach. And he brings his point guard.
Yeah. And what's crazy is, for me, I'm sorry to cut you off, but for me,
go ahead.
It was so I was known as I was a point guard, but then I was also kind of known as a shooter. So it was like almost I was replacing DeMario Sims, who's known as Memo. He was on the 32-0 team, but he graduated in 08. So him and Frank Otis left, and then I kind of came in. So like I was saying, it was crazy when I came into MACK, and I'm just now kind of starting to hear about because it was kind of a lot of drama, with our team. And I guess Coach Booz at the time, like Ken just said, he took over for Mo, and he had a love for me because, like I said, I had been working out with MACK these whole years. So before I got there, he was kind of telling them like, oh, I got my point guard coming, and I didn't know none of this was going on. So then when I get there, me and Will Cherry become like best friends immediately. So he's like kicking it with me, hanging out with me. But then it made the other team kind of like shun me out, the rest of the team. You know what I mean? And at the time, I never understood why. And now I'm about to be 30 in a week. And I'm just now starting to hear why they felt that way about me. And for me, it was like, it got to the point to where there's a narrative running around that I was scared to shoot the ball. And for me, it's like blasphemous. Like, scared of what? Scared of who? You know what I mean? Like, It's just basketball. And it was crazy because they say it was only the game before state and the state championship game. I was quote unquote scared. But a lot of people don't know I only averaged 9 points as a senior in high school. Like I never was like a guy that shot the ball that much. And now that I look back on it, I was always known as a high IQ dude. That's why I'm a coach now. But I kind of overthought basketball. You know what I mean? Like when I was at Amador, I would be on fast breaks wide open and I would turn around and pass to my teammates because I didn't care about scoring. You see what I'm saying? And like, so when they say I was scared to shoot, and I was like, I would just slap the shit out of one of y'all. Scared of what? Scared of
who is they? Teammates, students, people? Who
people, fans, some of the coaches that was on the, and that's why I said I wanted to address this because it's starting to piss me off a little bit. You know what I mean? Like,
well, you know, one thing I've learned growing up is when you lose, somebody's got to take the blame.
Right.
You know,
right.
And they point the finger at somebody.
But the reason why I feel like it wasn't fair to me, and sorry to cut you off again, is because I didn't even know what was going on behind the scenes. I came in trying to fit in. I wasn't trying to take over the team, or I didn't shoot the ball a lot, but I was our leading scorer throughout the playoffs. You know what I mean? Because I was the shooter. So I would get boxing one all the time. I would be the only one getting boxing one.
Interesting.
You see what I'm saying? But like I said, I only averaged 9 points, and I got my Division I scholarship.
Hey, man,
I think that was like
right?
No, I think that was something right there. I think
it works in the end, right?
Hey, slapping somebody.
But when you got to the OEL and MACK had no competition, right? Did y'all just run through every OEL school? Like nobody gave y'all a game?
10-0? 10-0?
Yeah, it wasn't even close, man. I think we won the championship by like 30.
Goodness.
So Ken, and we talk about the competitiveness of what the OEL was. You hear these dudes talk about how competitive it was and things like that, right?
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
But now you ran through it, all of these things. Is it was a thing where you was like, you know, the OEL a little overrated when you was there as opposed to in that Amador Valley League?
No, because I was already, like he said, I was already tapped into the league. So I knew what time, nobody knew. We used to always joke and say, I wonder what the other coaches say in the locker room before we played. You know what I mean? Because it's like, y'all know y'all not going to beat us. And our only 2 losses we had that year, we lost to De La, and that would have been Max 50th win in a row. And I kid you not, this is how close of a knit community that West Oakland community is. We, any restaurant around Mac, we ate for free. Like, we didn't have to pay at none of those restaurants. Like, the burrito truck, anything, like, because of their 32-0 team. Like, we used to have police escorts to our games and all of that. So when we lost that De La game, nobody was speaking to us. Like, me and Will walked to my granny house who lived across the street for lunch, because we always went over there for lunch. And Memo, who I was talking about earlier, he literally drove past us, put his head out the window, shook his head, and kept driving.
Damn.
Because we had lost that De La Salle game. Yeah.
Y'all only had lost 1 game your senior year?
2 games. We lost that De La game at the MLK Classic at Cal,
okay.
And then we lost in the state to Westchester.
Hey,
Damn,
Ken,
that's still
hold
a
on.
pretty good run.
I got to tap on something. Argument of purpose. Hold on, let me pause. We had Deuce on here. We talked about the team. Deuce said he believed that his team would have beat that 08 team MACK that went undefeated, and we argued that you can't take the championship. But then we didn't even bring up the next year team. So here we talking about a MACK team, Ken, that went 32-0.
Yep.
Then the following year only lost 2 games to non-OEL opponents, De La Salle and Westchester, right? That's a hell of a run for 2 years, bro.
No, hell yeah. I mean, bro, 32-0 in basketball, like that's
the year before MACK, Will Cherry's 3-year span from his sophomore to his senior year, he lost 6 games in high school, those 3 years. So the sophomore year, they only lost like 3 or 4 games, and then we lost 2, I believe, my senior year. Obviously, his junior year, they didn't lose any. So it wasn't even just those 2 years; it was a 3-year dominance.
So does Will? We're going to get Will on the show at some point once we get our schedules together.
Yeah, I was texting him.
But does he feel like that was his run? Because he's the constant, right? Like everybody else kind of came and went.
He's a winner, man. That dude is just even he's at the pro level. Even if it was summer league, he won some. He's just a natural winner. It's crazy. That dude just knows how to win. Everywhere he went, he's won. College, he won, I think 3 out of his 4 years in college. He won. You know, he was battling with Dame Lillard, but they were beating him. Like he won
Montana,
3 out of 4 of the conference championships.
Yeah.
He was at the tournament every year, and when he played with the Spurs, I believe, in the summer league, he won overseas championships. When I went to visit him in Croatia, he won a championship. I went and I actually watched that finals. So that dude is just that's why it's crazy to me now that he's not on the roster.
Hey man, shout out to you going to visit him in Croatia, man. Let me tell you, me and Ken was in Lincoln, Missouri. I was at Arizona State and ain't nobody come visit me. So shout out to you for going to go visit your dog in Croatia,
That's my
man.
brother.
Hey, but for sake of argument purposes, Ken, that's a good argument. Like, is Will Cherry argument go always beat Q argument because he got a state championship? I know Q won 4 years in a row.
Well, you know how I look at it. You can't take it away from a champion. Like, so if you undefeated, you win the state championship, it's hard for me to say another team can beat you.
Right. Now,
the year before, the year after, now we have an argument. So Justin's year against Deuce's 01 year, that's any team with Leon Poe, dog, it's just tough. It's tough to bet against that team.
Yeah, we would have beat them.
Especially when I see what Poe Lee did to y'all.
What did he do, though?
He took Dame out the game.
No, he didn't.
He nullified Dame. I thought Dame could jump. Poe Lee can jump.
You know what's crazy? Not even he could fly. We were talking about this not too long ago, but I think we made the mistake of we stayed up and we drove up to Sacramento Friday. So all Saturday, mind you, we played the main event game at 8:00. All right. Saturday, we was laying around in the hotel late, just laying there watching movies so we shot 23% from the field. I had 2 points in the state championship, and I think Will had 11, Dame had 9. It was just bad. It was like we played our worst game, and then on top of that, we had never played somebody as athletic as us.
That's what I was about to say, because I do remember them being strong, like built. But what I really, really remember is Poe Lee took everything away from the paint. There were no points in the paint. This dude, I don't know if you know, was it Dwayne Poe Lee or something?
Yep, Dwayne Poe Lee.
Okay.
I'm not familiar with him.
Put Damon Powell and Luke Mon in one body. That's how high that dude jumped.
I think Dame had more bounce than Poe Lee, though.
No.
I'm telling you. Maybe I'm biased. Shit, I don't care.
Hey, I'm biased too. I'm tired of hearing about Westchester whooping on our team.
Yeah. Hey, can I ask a question real quick?
Yeah, of course. Now, it got to be a good question because the last person asked me a question that came with some bullshit.
I think I got some pretty good questions, man. I practice it.
Yeah, Gino asked me when the last time I scored 40 points in a game.
What?
Don't ask me no bullshit like that.
Hey, so what do you guys think was the golden era of the OEL?
Our era. You talking about basketball?
Yeah, basketball.
Oh, definitely.
Right before I got to high school. 92
to 01 is the golden area of basketball.
Really?
Even though that's the golden era.
So you're telling me that Leon Poe, Quinn Thomas, Antonio Kellogg.
That's 01.
That's 01 and 02.
No, they were 03, I thought.
Nah.
Well, yeah, I mean, Leon.
No, they graduated 03. So they were in the OEL at that point.
Right.
They're in the OEL.
I see what you're saying.
Okay. So I think that what you're about to say, Justin, I think that was a very small window of greatness for sure. Like Tim Pierce, Kellogg, very short,
I think Dame Lillard.
Window.
I think Dame Lillard time in the OEL is not even compared to the time before that. You know, like when we let me tell you, we talked about it before, right? We talked about just the guard play when you got a young Allende at Oakland High, you got Deuce and them at wherever they at, and you got Kellogg and them. Like every night, that guard play is like you gonna have to bring it, right?
Paul Rigney at Castlemont.
You got Tim Pierce who could drop 40 on you at Fremont. You know, coming out of that era, Tim a little younger. But in that era, and then you go back before that 90s era, we talked about it, we wasn't getting highly recruited for basketball in them early 90s stages, but the competition was across the board. It wasn't you gonna win the championship by 30.
Right.
And all. It was like you might win the OEL, go 10-0, and then get upset back-to-back nights in the
Right.
championship. You know,
What
That's
year was
why-
Tina Payton? Do you guys know?
I think Keena was with Tim and them.
Okay.
yeah, Keena was with Tim and them, but that's why that's me. I could be biased because I was a fan of that era, and I'm sitting in there. But I'm thinking of '92s, like when you got Jason Kidd playing against St. Joe's, playing against a raw Fremont team, and then you get Calvin Criddle leave that Jason Kidd team to come join Fremont, and then they get their run going on with Fremont. Fremont had an era of them owns, man, where they had a lot of strong teams. But I think just overall basketball in the Bay Area was just competitive because we can never take De La Salle out of being in a state championship run with St. Joe's back then, or even Vallejo. Like Vallejo had a team that was just hella raw.
For real?
So I think the OAL when you guys like Justin's era and around that time, I think it was top heavy where the best teams of the OAL can compete with any OAL team of any era. But as a whole, like Lo said, like 90 to 01, the 90s and 2000, like, nah, bro.
It was
And-
crazy.
Some different shit.
Yeah, it was, man. It was.
Man, I'm rocking with my guys, man.
But I think the top teams in your era can compete with any team.
Okay.
But all six as a whole.
Even when I
Not
ask
across
Coach
the
Mo and
board.
them, they say the same thing. So y'all right. Y'all might be right, but I'm sticking with my guns.
But y'all that later year. So even if I was to take the 2000s and add them on to you guys' era, you guys definitely are more highly decorated, recruit wise and college wise, because we talked about people we were fans of. Marshawn Fair is a good fan of watching them play. But no one was getting recruited back then. It became an era where D Tuck goes to USF, and we know D Tuck could have went elsewhere for whatever reason. We had D Tuck on the show, but D Tuck go to USF. Actually, D Tuck was tricked to going to USF.
Yeah.
He was tricked to going to USF, but it was a bunch of guys in that era, Marcus Malone's and them. They weren't recruited guys.
Why? I'm sorry. Can I ask another question? Why weren't they recruited? Do you know? Was it grades or just lack
I think
of
it was
exposure?
grades. I think exposure.
Exposure in the
You got to
way.
think in California, all we got is Pac-10 or WCC.
I think
There's no, like,
it could have been a coaching thing as well, Ken. I thought
Could be
about
that.
this, and the OEL was kind of all the same. It wasn't a naturally run offense. It wasn't everybody pressed the whole game on defense, right? So it looked like it could have been street ball played in the gym with a hype crowd and a bunch of shit talking, and college coaches sitting back like, hey, I ain't gonna be able to do this. But then again, we didn't have too many players of that era, ABCD camp.
Right. That's
All
what
of
I'm
these
saying.
different
Exposure
camps.
was different.
That exposure was different. We talked to Deuce, and Deuce said, man, after Mondo and Leon went to the ABCD camp and came back to Oakland, they started packing the gym out with scouts from different, like not just scouts, head coaches coming to watch them play. And then, that trickle down effect be like, hey, they come to see you. Let me get my hustle plays in. I'm gonna get noticed, So I think that played effect to why the other guys didn't get recruited, because they were definitely good. And I don't know the grades factor. I can never say I know what their grades was like. Back then it was like, I'm the man on campus. Do I really need to go to class today? Do I really need to, my girl got my jersey on. Do I really need to be at, the teacher go change my grade here and there, but I still got to take the SAT on my own. Can I pass it? It could have been a few of these type of things that was going on back then, but definitely. So Justin, what was the recruiting like for you, and when did that pick up? For you guys' team with the recruiting.
Me being when I got to MACK, I was already like 6'1", 6'2", so I was kind of a big guard. And then being able to shoot, like I was getting offers off as soon as I walked in there, before they even saw me hoop and conditioning. I was picking up. When I was at Amador, I was getting a lot of D2 interest. My AAU team was pretty good, so we were on the circuit playing. But it really picked up, like I said, when I got to MACK.
What were some of the initial schools?
Huh?
What were some of the initial schools?
Let me think. A lot of the West Coast schools. I actually wanted to go to St. Mary's. but they were bringing in Dellavedova at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they had a guy who I think he played in Australia or something. So they had an Australian connect where they had Patty Mills and then a bunch of those dudes right after. So me and Will Cherry actually wanted to go there together, but we ended up obviously he signed early in Montana, and then I went to New Mexico State.
Well, where did Dame go? Did Dame go D1 too?
No, Dame ended up going to Dame went hella places. Dame went he went to CSI, which is a national JUCO, which is a real big time national JUCO. And then he ended up playing at Los Medanos when it was all said and done for a little while. And then Dame just went overseas. He just skipped all that shit and went to go make the bread.
You can't go wrong with getting the bread. Well,
right.
So what was New Mexico State like as a basketball player? You know, like I know as a football player what it's like. I had a couple of boys go play for New Mexico State football. What was it like as a basketball player?
For me, it was when I was coming to pick my school, I wanted to go somewhere where they didn't have an NBA team close, so I could be that. You know what I mean? Like we could be part of that. And then like with Coach Menzies, that was crazy. I'm in Vegas right now, and I was just talking to some people because he used to coach at UNLV pretty recent here. And I was talking to people about him because he's such just a good dude, man. Like it's crazy when he came to see me play, we playing against Fremont, and it was a TV game and there was a shooting at the game. Right outside the gym. You know how Fremont used to be where you had to walk down like the long little corridor to get to the gym? And we were walking out, it was me, because I had a good game. I think I had like 25 or something. And the newspaper was talking to me. My coach Collins from Amador was at that game also. So he was coming to support me. We all, and then the Coach Menzies also, we were all walking out together, and then the gunshots happened and the whole crowd of people started running back into the gym. It was crazy. And I just lost my train of thought, my bad.
You were saying how great of a guy he was.
Oh yeah, Menzies. Yep. So Menzies was he wasn't the typical coach. And to be honest, I only went there for a semester. So so when I transferred to MACK, mind you, I had a 3.8 GPA and one of my grades didn't transfer. So I was deemed a non-qualifier. Wow. So my first year I had to sit out, and a national JUCO coach just recruited the hell out of me, man, if I'm just being honest. He was just like, man, you only played 2 years of varsity basketball. You pretty much only got recruited for 1 year. You're gonna qualify. So how about you just come here for 1 year? Worst case scenario, you go back to New Mexico State. And when I went to this national JUCO, it was Western Nebraska. I was top 3 point guards in the country at the time at the national JUCO level. Me, a guy named Pierre Jackson, who's in the NBA, he played at Baylor. Yep. And Blake Nash, I think his name was. He was from like Arizona. Yeah, I don't know what his career ended up being like, but Pierre, I kicked his ass. I kicked Pierre.
Really?
Ass. Yeah, on the home court. Yeah.
Wow.
And it was crazy because we have a mutual friend that kind of stirred it up on Twitter after the fact. It was like, I heard my boy gave 25. Like I was killing. And it was crazy. They whole gym is then he was at CSI where Damon Powell had ended up going. And it was crazy because Kiwi Gardner the week before was at Westwind Prep, and he had just gave them 25.
So Pierre was just
Pierre, so Pierre,
of course, yeah.
Pierre, he's one of my favorite dudes to watch. Like so it ain't no disrespect, but I mean it is what it is.
Hey, but I'm trying to wrap my head around grades at Amador Valley and one not transferring into MACK. Like what goddamn class was that wouldn't transfer into MACK?
African American Studies.
I'm thinking the other way it would have transferred.
So it was actually a class I took at MACK that didn't count toward the requirements. MACK made a mistake. I won't say the name, and put me in a class that I wasn't supposed to be in. So when it came to me, and it was crazy because I took my visit. And right the day before my visit, they almost canceled it because I was deemed a non-qualifier. And they ended up getting me, and I committed on my visit because I knew I was going to go there. Like you guys remember the restaurant Sims in Emeryville?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's where he offered my scholarship at. He took us all to eat at Sims right after. And so he was just such a down-to-earth dude. He had signed, this is just an idea of the type of dude he is. He owed a favor to one of the Compton Magic coaches. And when he signed another point guard in my class, he flew to my house and told me in person.
Wow.
You see what I'm saying? So he's he's one of those type of dudes, like real big on morals and integrity. And like he's a really, really good dude. And it's crazy because I said this on my show when I was interviewing Juan. To this day, I haven't apologized for transferring, because once I transferred from New Mexico State, my career was never the same again. And I still haven't. Him and my dad still talk all the time. He's waiting on me to call him. I just don't know really what to say yet.
Why did you transfer?
I just got recruited. That was it. The guy just made it sound good. He was right. He was like, "Shit, you really only got recruited for 1 year." And like I said, when I did transfer, I had Memphis. Like I was
okay.
It made sense at the time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Did you talk to the coach first?
Nope.
Oh, you
He
just
was so
dipped
crazy.
out.
I was at the airport. I was at the airport and he called me.
And
And was like,
answer.
"Oh, no," I answered.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Man, coach, I'm transferring." And I was literally at the airport leaving the school, and he had no idea. And I felt terrible.
Oh no, he knew. That's why he called.
But right, he knew. But what's crazy is I kind of did the reason the way I left was kind of like my dad really wanted me to leave. So it was like, all right, whatever. I don't care. If you want me to leave, just I'll go there. Like it was like a stubborn move. You know what I mean? So I didn't really want to leave. But it was like, all right, whatever, you want me to leave, I'll leave. I'll go wherever you want me to go. If it don't work out, it's your fault. That's literally what I told my dad. And it didn't work out.
So it's his fault.
Wow.
Right.
Wow.
That's crazy.
Hey, but I'm wrapping my head around, because I'm thinking, 19, 20-year-old me, I would have left without saying nothing to the coach either. I would have just cut.
I did that to Coach Peters.
Yeah, I would have. What I got to say something for? I'm gone. But I'm thinking about now as my adult. I'm thinking about relationships more. Like what does that do to that relationship when I might need that relationship again? And some people you might can't call back. So the adult me is like, let me be a man about it. The younger me is like, I'm out of here, man. I'm out. And what's the best situation? Like, especially as a kid, when we feel the recruiting is bullshit. Like, you recruited me here to tell me this. Shout out. We had Brandon Payne. Even Brandon Payne was talking about how even in his senior year, the coach was dogging him, and after he didn't recruited him from being somewhere else. So it's like, we don't like the bullshit as a recruit, and we learned that a lot. Even with P40, Paul talking about how he got done by the St. Mary's coaches. You know what I'm saying? So that time when the St. Mary was trying to recruit Dame, P40 told Dame, "Don't come here, bro. Don't come here. Look how they doing me. They go put the handcuffs on you and not let you will and deal." So recruiting, being honest during recruiting is one of the best things. Tell me the truth. Like, don't give me the Jesus Shuttleworth treatment and I get here and it's something totally different, right? So I can understand that. After you finish playing, Justin, I know you coaching now, but what did you try to go overseas? Did you get any professional tryouts?
No, and actually it's funny because what you're saying now made me fall out of love with hoop as a freshman. Like I was because I start seeing the politics of it. You know what I mean? And then this might sound hella arrogant, but I start realizing that the coaches didn't know what they were doing. And it made me like, I'm the type of person that in order for me to follow you and kind of, follow your lead, I have to respect you a little bit. So once it gets to that point to where I'm like, oh, this dude, like I will be in practice and it's like, this isn't how you guard a down screen. And so to the coach, it's like I'm showing them up. But to me, with my AAU coach, we had that relationship to where I was always the coach on the floor. So when something wasn't right, I was able to jump in and fix it. And then the coach at the National JUCO I was talking about, he ended up texting me over Christmas break. Mind you, I was leading, like I told you, I was killing everything. He texted me over Christmas break and said, "You're no longer the captain of my team," or whatever. And I was like, all right, whatever. And then we got back from Christmas break. That first game, I didn't get in the game at all. I went from it got to the point where there's a guy, what was his name? Bruce Willison, something. He was in the NBA. I forgot his name. Anyway, he asked me straight up, he said, "Man, did you get caught smoking weed or something?" Because he was coming to recruit me and I didn't get in the game. And I didn't know why. I was like, I don't know. He just ain't play me. And then the coach told my dad that I had more control of his team than he did.
Yeah, ego.
Oh man, I hate them type of coaches, kids, man. Just because like I like having a relationship with my coach, like Justin said, where I could be like, "Hey, coach, this don't right, this ain't right, this not working. Let's try this, right? Not I'm showing you up, but let's try something different." Or I'm peeping it. So when we talk about the politics of college sports and stuff like that, are you really a coach, or did you get a coach spot given to you, right? Was it given to you, and you didn't know the X's and O's of it, and here I am trying to help, and I'm pretty sure Justin, after you left or after you happened, he started using it the right way. You said, "This happened. Okay, cool. Now I know how to do this right. So let's do it this way, man."
And it's no hard feelings because he reached out to me actually not too long ago when I first took the MACK job. Congratulating me and kind of saying he wished that the interaction, because he was a brand new coach too. So I will give him that. That was, I think, his first year his second year as a head coach. So I'm over it. I don't really take it personal no more. But like you said, it's just once I kind of started seeing, and then when I started coaching at the collegiate level, that really turned me off. Like I walked away.
How was that?
It wasn't good, man. It was the situation I was in, the staff I was on, everything that was great. These dudes are getting all this money, and I don't think they know what they're doing, man. And I'm not saying I'm the best coach in the world, but I don't know. It's certain stuff that it's like, are you kidding me? Like you shouldn't guard a ball screen like that. And I'm literally would be at the collegiate level, like, and I just had to walk away from it. And now taking the MACK job, it was like, okay, I can directly impact my community and give back to my school, And then it's good that I'm an alumni, obviously. And like MC Hammer sponsored our gear, so he paid for like our backpacks. We had 3 sets of uniforms. Jabari Brown sponsored, even though he went to Oakland High, but he has his clothing line and he sponsored a uniform. So it's good that I'm back in there because it's bringing the crowd back, and it's dope because now that I'm coaching, I see some of the same faces I saw as a player.
Does Oakland High have more NBA guys than MACK? Like recently, I know you got Antonio Davis and all that.
We ain't doing this today, man. I'm not doing this.
No, I'm serious. I'm asking a question. No, I'm just asking a question.
No, you got a show.
It's an interview show. I ask questions.
Oakland High got more than Dame Lillard.
Jabari Brown went to the league. He scored 30. Yeah. With the Lakers.
Jabari Brown. Okay.
Yeah, I'm just asking.
Hold on. Did Jabari
we got
Brown
Antonio Davis?
No, I know. I'm not talking about back
Oakland
then.
High?
Yeah,
did Jabari Brown stay at Oakland High?
Yeah,
he graduated from there.
Yeah. Okay, he graduated from there. Okay.
He's an guy.
Yeah.
And went to Mizzou. And he went to Mizzou.
Look, you just can't stop smiling, man. That's crazy.
I'm just asking questions, man. I'm just asking a question, man.
Hey, but Justin, how long you been back at the helm at MACK? How long you been back coaching there?
Last season was my first year.
The season that they actually had, right?
Yeah.
What was the big difference you see in the OEL from when you played to coaching in it now?
Talent.
Yeah. And I was talking to Orlando Watkins on my show, and I asked him why he thought that it wasn't. He said a very interesting point that gentrification played a big part in it.
That's what it is.
And I never thought of that because like the kid from Reardon, I forget his name, Jelani or something. They say
Jelani, that's his name, the guard.
Yeah, he lives right down the street from MACK, I heard. But he goes to Reardon in San Francisco. So it's like a lot of the talent is at all these smaller, schools or
private
Monroe Catholic. Exactly. They're getting scholarships. So that's what it is. But I think the main problem with it now is when I was talking about like when I was at Rainbow and probably when you guys were coming up, we kind of lost the niche of the youth side of it. So it was like what do you call it? Like feeder programs. You see what I'm saying? Like
that's an interesting point.
Yeah. So now it's starting to get back. Now I feel like because when I was in the 6th, 7th grade and I would play for the Oakland Bulldogs against the Oakland Rebels, when we would meet up and play them gyms would be packed. Like Tech would be packed, and we would be 5th graders. You see what I'm saying? And there would be like hella people in there, the parents fighting and shit. It wasn't like that. But then right before I took the MACK job, I was coaching a little 5th grade team in Splash Cities under Jules Milstead. And I think you guys had him on the show, right?
Yeah.
We had him on the show. We didn't put him on our top 25, so we had to let him come and state his case.
But when I started coaching with him, I started seeing that those kids, I think the hoop is about to turn back up.
You think so?
Yeah, I think it's about to turn back up.
Hey,
I hope so.
I was at the championships game last year, OAL championships game, and I was confused because I didn't know how it went. Right, so I remember Oakland High beating Tech in a championship, but Tech went in a higher division for the playoffs, right? And I'm like, that's confusing as shit to me. Like, why they didn't even win the OEL? How they go to a higher division? Then they broke down the school enrollment. Tech had a better strength of schedule. Like Tech was 26-3 that season. But I'm like, I was used to the dude, and it's just me.
No, I'm with you. I'm with you, Lo.
I hate at large bids, dude.
Right.
If you didn't win your section, you shouldn't be able to go to this tournament. And I'm a Tech guy, and they did really good in the tournament until they ended up playing Western Ranch out in Stockton, right?
Okay.
Played Western Ranch out in Stockton, but they did good in the first two games of the tournament. But it's like I was confused. But the OEL, just even looking at that Tech team losing to that Oakland High team, then I think I was at the playoff game at the MACK game, right? When MACK was playing at Laney. I think they played a game at Laney as well.
No, we didn't play.
Or no, I caught a MAC game in the Oakland High tournament, the Dame Lillard tournament.
Okay.
I was at that tournament, and they brought they had a lot of Catholic schools in there. They had St. Mary's in there, Sacred Heart, because Freddie was coaching that Sacred Heart, Ken. Freddie was coaching that Sacred Heart. I'm watching the game.
Interesting.
And the excitement was there all around. They brought a team from LA up. It was a good team from LA came up. I'm watching these games, and I'm like, the OEL teams that was there, MAC and Oakland High, didn't seem like it struck fear in the other teams, right? And back then, teams were scared to play our OEL teams. Teams were scared to walk in the Oakland High gym if you wasn't from Oakland and play this Oakland team. So, like when you say it's coming back, I need to see the OEL back in that light. You know, one thing is hard is you guys go have to compete for these great kids that's going to the O'Dowds, the St. Mary's, Monroe Catholics, or even going across the bridge to Reardon. So even in that competition, it's kind of like, wait, you get good coaches in place and find a feeder youth program that's going to trust the process, you know. And I think that's what we lacking in parenting now is the ability to trust the process of even a program building or your kid going to be cool, you know? Are you running into that thing, even trying to bring kids in or recruit kids? Or I don't want to say recruit kids. I don't know if that's illegal, but you know what I mean?
Yeah. For me, it's like, I try to take the approach of, I walk these same halls as you guys, and I'll be successful coming out of here. So I kind of know what it takes, and I can show you what to do. Because when you go to a school like MAC, there's a lot of temptation. You know what I mean? Like all around you, nonstop. So my thing is just trying to show the kids like we care about you. And it's crazy because now the basketball team is the joke of the school, and you know what I mean. So where it's like, they laughing at us and stuff. And we changed that really quick because we were better than I thought we were going to be. Like, I thought we were going to be terrible. And I actually had a couple hoopers. But I think that's the main difference now is these kids just don't play basketball as much as we did.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I was always in the gym. Me, Kiwi Gardner, BT, Ken, Neffy. We would be getting dropped off at 24 Hour Fitness as freshmen playing against people like who can I say? The older cats. You know what I mean? People that's probably like Toby Merchant and all them. Like I know those dudes from 24 Hour Fitness, and that was good run. So I was learning how to play basketball the right way through real OGs. That's not happening to these youngsters right now. You see what I'm saying? So then when they come on the court, then they want to do the fillet and all that old weird, pretty stuff. And it's just like, bro, you don't even work on that. Like, how do you expect to make this shot and you never practice it?
Yeah.
So I just think that's the biggest disconnect.
Yeah, when I was coaching, they didn't even watch. My kids didn't even watch basketball.
They didn't watch
did y'all see the game? I'm like, huh? What game? I'm like,
right. But see, even that, like, I don't watch basketball now because I don't watch it for entertainment. Like, I'm watching critiquing, like, damn, look at this, look at the set. That was a nice ass set, or you know what I mean? Or
but coming up, I would watch the pattern my game and learn moves and listen to the announcer and be, oh, that's why he did that.
Exactly. And they don't have
they just like, what's that video game? My daughter played all day.
Fortnite.
Fortnite.
Yep.
I'm like, well, we need a Fortnite team at the school.
Hey, that's funny you say that. I'm staying at the Luxor right now, and they have a damn esports arena here.
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
And I'm like, that's crazy.
So the Luxor is the hotel that has padded headboards.
Oh.
So you already know what's going
on.
And
the Pac-12 women's tournament is here this weekend, and I didn't even know that.
Oh, they're having one?
Yep, that's what I said. So I'm a lot of the teams I've been seeing them coming through because I got in this morning.
Hey, one of the great things you said, and shout out to my son trainer Deshaun Freeman, right? So Deshaun Freeman just took a step away from training them and said, you know what, we just going to play one-on-one because I need to see what are moves that kids do naturally. What do your instincts tell you, right? Because some of these kids get so used to, I'll do this around the cone. I'll do this around the cone. And just the instinct of it is not like what's naturally, right? As a football coach and a football trainer, I tell people all the time, kid, as a receiver, I hate this fucking release off the line. Like, why are you doing fucking juke moves off the line and nobody's in bump coverage?
Bail
right?
coverage.
they playing 8 yards off. Why just go to your route,
go.
right? I think what happens is a lot of these kids sit there, they YouTube all this shit, they see Instagram, they see what's cool, and they want to emulate that instead of just doing natural basketball shit, natural football things, right? And what Justin was just touching on is, man, like go out and go do the open run. The open run when you playing that against older people, it's gonna be physical because Ken, you see when we play at 24-hour fitness. We ain't trying to get off the court. I don't give a damn if you 15 on this court. I'm setting a hard pick. So you ain't gonna know not to give your man some space real quick because I want to keep my run going. This is my cardio for the day.
Right.
I ain't trying to lose my cardio done, right? But definitely, Justin, man, that we room for OEL, man. We had Coach Ed on one of our segments at Castlemont, and he a brother like yourself that been through Castlemont as successful, going to college, graduating college, and he's back at Castlemont to want to show the kids that you can do it from here. So shout out to you guys, man. We always talk about the OEL is a hard league to coach in, not because of I mean, you got the environment, but then the pay ain't the best. So, and then you competing against the private school that's go try to come grab your best athlete, right? So shout out to you guys. One of the things I want to touch on, Justin, is the podcast, right? How you get into the podcast? What was the basis behind it? Me and Ken started this podcast off Facebook arguments. Facebook arguments and people lying. and somebody telling me they was all world. I'm like, what? I played against. But okay, Ken, let's start a podcast and let these brothers talk, right? So we started this podcast based on Facebook arguments, debate, growing up, Oakland, Beirut, and different athletes in the OEL. What brought upon the podcast that you do, and tell our viewers how they can find your podcast.
Okay, so my YouTube channel was SJ10 TV. And how I got into the podcast thing was I'm a real big mental health guy. So I had went into like therapy and all of that stuff. And then I started to realize that in talking to I started watching other podcasts. And even if it would be somebody from the mafia or music artist or someone, I was interested in their in the stories because I would find like affirmation and other stuff people would say, stuff that I would think or feel a way about. Hearing other people say that they felt or thought about it kind of made me feel better about it. And then when I first wanted to do the podcast, I wanted to do like the typical current event type thing. And then I met up with a guy whose studio I used to use. And I was like, man, I don't know what I want to do. I just know I want to do something. So just, bear with me and I'll figure it out as we go. And with Tutu was a guy that I trained and I coached him when I was coaching at Dominguez. He played at Dominguez. And I trained him all the time. So I was like, man, I want to do the training thing, but I want to have it professionally shot. So I had hired a cameraman to come shoot it. And I was like, oh, what I'll do is I'll make a show about it, but I want to hear the stories that people don't talk about. You know what I mean? The behind the scenes stuff, the struggles, the stuff that ain't all, glitter and gold when it comes to the hoop, because I went through a lot of stuff. I'm sure you guys went through a lot of stuff. I know a lot of my friends went through a lot of stuff. So I was like, I know enough people to get people to tune in just off of their name. And then now it's to the point where people are tuning in just for my conversation. And that was like my ultimate goal. Like, how do I get it to where people are coming not just for my guests, you know what I mean? And they want to tap in and just hear my input and my take on things. But that's kind of how I got into it. And now, man, I'm full-fledged, literally with a whole network, and I got different shows that I work on. And I'm never gonna stop doing the interview thing, but I'm trying to get more into the executive producing type stuff, to where I'm behind the camera more often. But tap into my show every time, and it's crazy. You guys can probably attest to this. It's like the people who are the closest to you don't really support like other people do. You know what I mean? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah,
we hear you.
Okay.
And we understand.
Yeah, exactly. So I know me and Kid talk about it all the time, but that is just hearing people's response, and then, like I said, tapping in with people like you guys and other people. It's dope, and it's very therapeutic for me, and I love it. Man. I love it.
Absolutely. One of the things that baffles me with this thing, when you said that people support that, like, I had people in the gym with me that been in there, and they like, hey, I saw your podcast. When you going to get this person on, man, and let me know, and love it. And everybody loved the podcast, but is it really too much to just press subscribe? Like, is it really that hard to press subscribe? Right? It's one of them things when I was like, what is it? But you know, it is what it is, man. We gonna keep pressing the ground on it. You go keep pressing the ground on it. What are some guests you had on your podcast whose story just blew you away, man? Because I saw you had TP on there. I saw you had you had Kellogg on there as well, right?
Not yet. I just tapped in with Kellogg. I'm gonna have him though.
Okay.
So now I'm trying to jump into that era now, because I locked in my friends. So now from that era, you guys know Robert Owens from Skyline?
Now, I learned a lot about those guys from here, because I didn't know Chew, I didn't know Kevin Green, I didn't know a lot of those guys until you had them on.
That's what makes it dope, though. That's what makes it dope. And then like even me, I feel like coming on you guys' podcast, and then you guys coming on mine and doing like that, showing that we rock with each other, because me and Ken talk all the time. People just don't realize that.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? And it's like, it's enough room for everybody. So as long as we support each other and continue to do that, I feel like we can, I think we got some of the best hoopers in the world, that come from here. So why not talk to them? You know what I mean? And then I like showing love, man. That's my main thing. That's why people make a joke like, man, you always saying this person's your favorite and that, but I really watched these dudes as a youngster. You know what I mean? So it was like, they didn't know me, but I was at these games. I watched Tim Pierce when I was a kid. I watched Kellogg. I watched Q. I was at all those games. So it's dope for me hearing them tell me the backstory about what happened. You see what I'm saying?
That's what I love.
Absolutely.
And the text messages that come before and after. Right. Every episode. This nigga said hey man, I just asked the questions.
You know what? Hey, so the disclaimer to that: Mo is not the instigator. I'm not the pastor. I don't know where these questions are going to go when I ask them. I don't know. I have no backstory to anything. I'm just asking these questions, man. But one of the things, like you said,
just to answer your question, I think Coach Mo was probably one of my favorite interviews.
Ours too.
Oh yeah. Listen, hey, when we did Coach Mo, shout out to Coach Mo. I was trying to get Ken like, hey Ken, you gonna have to pause and edit Coach Mo.
I was watching that shit like,
he's going in, right? So shout out to Coach Mo, man, because
we'll sell the unedited version for $9.90.
I said, Ken, you got to edit some of this stuff, right? This was before our day.
3 easy payments.
Coach Mo was talking out. So then when I interviewed him, it was like I was on the edge, like I was trying to it was so funny because I was talking to Ken, and I was like, then Coach Mo just took over the interview. Like, and so when I interviewed him, I was aware of it. Like, all right, I got to make sure I stay in control. But he's somebody who I have so much respect for as far as his coaching and type of person he is. I've been knowing him for so long. Him and my uncle are really tight, and then just hearing some of the backstories behind like him coaching D-Tuck and all of those dudes and the book and everything. He just had such a crazy story. So just hearing him and how humble he is, and it was super dope. But I feel like every interview I do, I feel like it's my favorite.
Once you're done, you're like, oh, that was really good.
Yeah. And I'm getting better because I'm self-taught. So
Nah, you're doing a great
I
job,
didn't,
bro.
I never planned to interview nobody. You know what I mean? So it's like I'm super hard on myself. So I think that's also, you know, something that I'm aware of now, that I think me getting better, getting more comfortable, because I know you guys probably know, no matter how many times we do it, when you turn this camera on, there is still butterflies. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So,
yeah. We don't know what the other person's going to say
exactly.
and what pot it may stir. Well, me and Ken stopped doing. We stopped editing. We are the
Really?
rec
Yeah, we
center.
just let it
We're the
go.
rec center. We're not editing no more. Whatever you say, we just putting it out, man.
Yep.
It's the rec center, and this what brought us on. This what made us tough in Oakland in sports. That we was gonna talk our shit, and
Yep.
we gonna give
That's
you
a
a
fact.
chance to talk your
That's a
shit
fact.
back.
That's a fact.
But most of the time, it's about, man, I like showing, like you said, showing love, man. Every dude we had on here, I was a fan of.
Right.
Mhm.
I competed against you, but I was a fan of you too. So even if we wasn't playing, I still wanted to be, let me look at this paper and see what dude
Yeah.
did today.
Yeah.
Let me, man, hold on. He had this many catches. Now I got to go tell my quarterback, hey, bro, you better throw me the ball, bro. This thing just dropped 5 catches. He had 5 catches, man. I need to get my own, get my own, man. And then I realized, man, what the OEL was, right? It was a cool OEL conference, but when you got outside of, it's one of the things when I got to college and I'm bragging about being all lead, and a coach telling me everybody was all lead.
Right.
We wouldn't have brought you. We wouldn't have brought you here if you weren't all lead. That's the easy thing. If you ain't
Right.
all lead, you wouldn't be here, right?
Right.
Just understanding like what it means, like all lead, than being outside of that, right? Because you get these cool recruiting, and they bringing in, it's people that was blue chips. You know, back then it's the old thing. That's the old, like they got stars and rivals
5
now.
stars,
Ken,
blue
but back,
chip, same
yeah, they
thing.
got rivals right now. Back then you had to be blue chip, right? It was
Yeah.
blue
I think
chip
they
all
still got blue
American.
chips.
They still got
Oh, they
blue chip?
do?
I think. Shit, I don't know.
I thought blue chip got played out by Max Preps and all these other things that they do, and it made it easier for it with social media. But definitely, man, glad we could check out the podcast, and appreciate you coming on, man.
Yeah, man.
Give me
but-
your top 5 MAC guys before we get out of here.
Oh, we got a little more time. Top 5 MAC guys.
Top 5 MAC guys. Kellogg, Will Cherry, Ike Counts is probably one of my favorite players from that. My personal favorite. Who else? I didn't get to see D Tuck and them play because I'm younger. Let me think. Who else? Frank Otis, for sure. Move. That's my God. And can I say me? No, I'm just playing.
Put you in it.
I mean, if you ask me top 5 Ohio guys, I gotta be on there.
Man.
And I would probably say Damon Powell because I've
You just picked
I've
your
been in
team.
the trenches. Huh?
You just picked your team.
So what?
And
I
Kellogg.
told you I'm biased, man.
He said
At least
Tuck,
I
bro.
admit
You
it.
didn't say Tuck.
No. This is why I'm mad.
Oh, here we go.
This dude like me. His dad then took him to MAC games since he was 5 years old. He knows the lineage.
Yeah.
And then he gonna stick to his 5 plus Kellogg. Man, come on.
He said Tuck.
No, he said he didn't see Tuck.
Yeah, I didn't get to see Tuck, so I can't. Let's see. Coach Mo told me that Tuck was probably the best player he ever coached. So that's why I even mentioned him, because I just had to respect. I didn't get to watch him, but I heard he was a motherfucker. And you know what's crazy is Will Levy, his dad was my football coach for the East Bay Warriors, which is crazy. And now, obviously he's I heard he was really good too, but I didn't get to see none of those dudes play.
Well, he's an Oakland High guy.
Who?
Big Levy.
Will Levy is not Oakland High guy.
No, Big Levy.
Man. Yeah, but he was talking about Lil Levy.
No, he said his dad was a football coach. The dad went to
you got to stop this Oakland High shit, man.
Nah, bro. I believe that.
Hey, man.
I got MAC somewhere because I'm like you. My whole family with the MAC. I got a little.
Right. We talked about
there, but boy, I believe that blue and white boy. Huh?
Yeah.
Hey, that was a good 5. But I think I could pick. I could pick any other 5 to beat that 5.
Who you got, Lo? Who you got?
Who I got?
Yeah.
I would take Will Levy and D Tuck at my Will Levy, D Tuck, and give me. I'm gonna stick only 90s. I'm not even gonna go too high. So give me Will Levy, give me D Tuck, give me what's my guy name? Oh, give me CG, and give me Kellogg. Give me CG and Kellogg. And I need a wing. I need a for sure wing.
I know who I'm going with. I'm gonna pick 5 that y'all don't even say.
For my wing, I want to keep it in that era that I'm in. Give me Dominique Ingerson.
That was my thing. All right.
Give me Dominique Ingerson. So
Okay.
I take. Give me
You don't know Dom
Kellogg,
Ingerson?
CG.
I don't think so.
Well, because he went to MACK and then he transferred to Santa Barbara.
But he
Transfer
went
where?
to,
Santa Barbara.
he went Santa Barbara. Then he went to Michigan,
Michigan,
right?
yep.
University of
Damn,
Michigan.
for real? What?
Oh no, he was
Yeah.
legit. He was.
When did he go to Mac?
He left
2000.
in 98. 90,
Oh,
No. He played that 99 year with Delonte and them.
He did.
So it might have been
I think
that
he was
year,
01.
right? He could have been class 01.
I think it was a year after me.
Dominique Ingerson, and he played. So when I'm judging him off playing at MAC, and he was a sophomore freshman kid.
That's when
So
I saw.
he was legit.
Yeah.
And he ended up going to University of Michigan.
Yeah.
But I don't think you could come with a MAC 5 to beat that 5, kid.
I was gonna throw Dom in my 5. So now I gotta go Darnell Stamps.
Shout out to Stamps. That's my guy.
Then you took CG. I gotta go Darnell Stamps.
Yeah, I didn't see CG either.
I'm gonna go. I'll take Memo. So that's
like
my 5. I'll take now I'm off the rip. I'll take Delonte. I never saw him play, but I just heard so much about him. Anthony Bird. He was on the 92 undefeated team or 26-1 team.
What about Markel? You need a center. You got about Markel.
Well, I think Darnell Stamps was a center.
Oh, okay. But Markel was another big for you.
Let me see.
No Will Cherry?
What about Ike?
Will Cherry.
What about Ike?
No. I'm going Darnell. I'm going Bird, Delonte, Will, and Memo.
Yeah,
I think if you posted this, Ken, I think everybody would say my team.
Well, you got Levy and Tuck and
you went to the household game.
Yeah,
man.
I was like, God, we are going to post.
Remember my team when you post this. I got Levy, Tuck, Kellogg, CG, the older CG, the daddy CG.
Yeah.
The daddy CG.
You probably got the best.
That's an unbeatable team.
Yeah, and I got Dom Ingerson.
That's an unbeatable team. That's unbeatable.
Hey,
you got the best team. For sure.
Now, before we go, here's how how me and Lo gonna win this argument.
Oh, here we go.
Give me your top 5 OAL that didn't play for MAC during your era that you say was better than ours. And then we're going to give you our top 5
that didn't go to MAC.
Because like I said, I think y'all was top heavy.
Right. Oh, shit. I don't know. That's tough. Damian Lillard. You guys know Bowie, James Albright, went to Fremont.
The name sound familiar.
He was pretty good. He was So I would say probably Kwame Vaughn. Y'all know Kwame?
The name.
With the Skyline?
The name.
He still plays professional right now. He went to Fullerton. Fullerton, he went to Fullerton. So I would say Boobies, James Albright, Dame Lillard, Kwame, Neffy from Skyline is one of my favorite players too. He had a better college career though. I don't know who would be. Maury Evans from Castlemont. What? Maury for sure. Y'all probably don't know Maury.
Nah, but we're gonna get the input from the.
Let me hear yours before we go.
Dude, easy.
I know we only got like 10 minutes.
Who you got?
You talking about outside? You go name outside of Oakland High.
And you went to Tech, right?
Yeah.
So name outside of Tech. Let's do that. That's dope.
Go, Ken.
That's easy. Tuck, Levy. Tuck, Levy.
Nah, don't leave us alone, bro.
Outside of MAC. Outside of MAC.
No,
okay.
I'm just playing. I'm just playing.
I go Tuck, Levy. Even if we don't say MAC, I go Josh Shavies.
That's
I go Larry Guess.
I don't know.
I go Paul Marigny.
P40.
Allende. Is Allende my era or your era?
I don't know. He works.
You go Allende.
Allende. I got my 2 wings. I got Josh and DeMarche.
Okay, so I got to go outside of Tech.
Outside of MAC.
And Tech.
And
So
Tech.
you went outside of Oakland High, right?
That's fine. This is how deep we were.
All right, give me so center. I take Tremaine Fuqua.
Yep.
Give me Jules Milstead.
Good one.
Give me Tim Pierce.
Ooh.
Yeah, we didn't name Tim.
Give me Tim Pierce. Give me, and I can't pick Mac either. Golly, like Tech
Go ahead,
had
go
everybody.
ahead.
Tech
Go
got
ahead.
everybody I want to pick.
You
No,
can pick
it's
Mac.
fine. It's fine. Give me
Just go
You can go John Tar.
no, give me I said Marshawn Ferris. Give me Marshawn Ferris, and I need one more guard though.
Quinn.
Give me
Steve
Marcus Malone.
Marcus Malone.
Marcus Malone. Marcus Malone. I'll take that. That'll be my team.
So we'll post that one too.
Where did Jules go?
Jules with the Fremont.
Fremont. Okay, that's right.
Jules with the Fremont. He started off at St. Joe's, then he went over to Fremont.
Okay, that makes sense.
Hey, Ken, man, I love these interviews when I get to learn, man. I get to learn, like even learning all of them. Mac, I didn't know Mac ran like that.
Yeah,
Three,
it was-
Three straight.
that's
Three straight.
that was 3 state championship runs, right?
Right.
3 straight, right?
Yep.
That's about as deep as the OEL. That's probably one of the best runs, like out that
Tech.
leveled on outside of the OEL. Now we
Tech
know
went 2 straight.
they went to they went to the championship 3 times in a row, right?
Tech.
Yeah. Oh no, you're talking about Tech, right?
Tech did
And
Two straight.
Tech made 2 out of. And somebody made a case about what Fremont team could have did. Ken, they think Fremont had the '96 championship, the '96 that went to the state. No, that was '95 that went to state. 97. I don't know what happened with '97, but they believe '98 could have went to the state. That's your favorite
I
team,
think
right
90.
there.
Yeah, I think 98 was the best.
And then they got '99 winning state. '99 won state. '98 could have went to state, and '99 won it. That's a good era of basketball. It's a good era. Them some good era of basketball.
There's no league.
So,
There's no league like the OAL.
Mm.
I don't believe there's any.
back then,
No.
back
well,
then.
yeah, back then. Yeah, I don't think there's any.
we got to bring it back. Justin go bring it back on the
I'm
hoop
trying,
side.
man.
Justin,
Well, we got
Correga,
Justin as alumni. Correga's an alumni.
You got
Yeah.
old boy at Oakland High, Ken.
Orlando.
Your
He's
guy
not
at
alumni,
Ohio.
but Orlando is a hell of a
But
coach.
he's a good coach.
Hell of a
He's
coach.
a good
Yeah.
coach.
A winner. Yeah.
There's another alumni back at Castlemont. What's his name? McCullough.
Okay.
Ain't that his name?
I'm not sure.
I don't know who's
that.
a Castlemont.
that?
Oh yeah,
He a
D-Mac.
old-
D-Mac.
D-Mac.
Yep.
D-Mac.
D-Mac. D-Mac is at
He's a-
Castlemont.
okay.
You're right. Yep.
He's the older. Yeah, he's the older kid. So
Okay.
he's the older era.
Fremont got Coach Scott, who coached me.
Coach Scott is a
And
good
then-
coach.
And then Skyline got DeAndre Pertee.
Yep,
Oh
yep.
man, it's coming back, bro.
It can come back with
It's
them
coming
guys
back.
at the him, right?
And
Because
was
And
dope is
Perteet's
we're
gonna be
all-
mad we didn't pick him too.
Oh yeah, he's so damn competitive, man.
hey, you know what? That he put forth a good argument because he could have been picked. Like literally, like
I
you
never
know
saw
what it is with Pertee.
No, he
though,
was boy.
Ken?
He was.
I heard.
He was a bucket.
Yeah,
I
what it
heard
is
Frank
with
Knight was
Pertee
good
is
too.
Frank Knight was all state.
You know, y'all
All
didn't pick
state.
him either. Is he older than
well,
you?
that
guys?
was too much of our era, though. Like we was freshmen. Ken wasn't in high school. I was a freshman. You know. But DeAndre Pertee is definitely one of the ones that could get picked. But my thing with DeAndre is here's the thing, because he got the Justin argument too. Because like I'm thinking of people that did 4 years in the OEL, then here y'all come,
yeah,
you
1
come your
year,
senior
yeah.
year. DeAndre do his 2 years.
Where did he go
It's
first?
like
Where did he
it's
go?
like he went to San Leandro.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
And then he went to where? Fremont, right?
Fremont. Yeah,
Okay,
then he came to
okay.
Fremont.
Fremont had
so
some
D-
hoopers, man.
No, Fremont in
had
the
a game.
'90s was the premier school.
Yeah, they were the guy. They were a good school, man. I can't take that from when they basketball. They just wore these ugly Sean Kemp shoes that I didn't like. That you couldn't see circles and shit in them. But thank you, man, Justin. Thank you for coming on to the Rec Center podcast, man.
Oh man, thank you guys for having me, man. This was fun, man. This was dope. We got to link up and do something else, man.
Well, you know where I'm at.
I know. Actually, I need to link up with you soon, man. So I'm finna come outside in a minute.
It's all good, brother.
All right.
All
So
right.
what? I just hang up. We all good to go, or y'all got to sign out?
Yeah, we
No,
good
just
to
hang
go.
You good.
Okay. All right, man. Appreciate y'all.
Yep.
All right. Can I holler at you in a minute? Hey, good to meet you, brother.
All right, good, Justin, man. I'm about to tap into the podcast to get my listen on.
I appreciate you, boss.
All right.
All right. How you hang this shit up?
Hey
That's what's
man,
up,
Justin
man.
run a podcast and he said he never used Zoom before. We in the world of Zoom and he said he never used Zoom before.
He
Hey,
not
but
used to what they distant learning was his
distant learning, right?
distant
But
learning.
definitely a good episode, man. Shout out to Justin Stanley, man, and that McClymonds basketball team that had a hell of a run.
Absolutely.
Definitely shout out to Coach Mo, man, that put them guys together and his runs that he had, you know. So shout out to Coach Mo, man. In the McClymonds as a school, man. We did have some McClymonds guys come on here, Ken. And one thing about them all, he didn't pick nobody that wasn't nobody, you know.
Nah.
They came on and man, they were like some well respected dudes, man. So shout out to all of the guests from McClymonds we didn't had on the show.
It's many more to get on too. So
Definitely is more McClymonds guys to get on, man. Let's hear the MACK guy story, man. I need to bring on some more MACK football players, man, because you know we had Dante Marsh on, and they had a really good team, and they put out a lot of good players, 97, 98. But you know, Zoe said he didn't take to him to 01 as his team. That's his best team. So we got to get some of them Derek Hill on from that 01 team. Red still got to come on. But I would love to hear one of them guys from my era because they won the School of Champions when I was playing, Ken.
not football.
You know, not in football, right? But they did.
Bach was hella good.
Bach was extremely good, and Bach had one of the best tackles I've seen. And we still got to get Mikey on, man. We got to get Mikey on.
Hey,
man.
we need a petition to get Mikey on. We need like everybody. You know how people like line up outside City Hall and shit, and with the we need to just go outside Mike.
I'm gonna trick my brother going on, man. It's gonna be one of the most unorthodox interviews it is because I'm gonna be in the gym. We just gonna be lifting. I'm gonna be talking, and with everything gonna record. We might only have an audio only interview.
Audio only, and logo come up missing after we air it. But
my guy, man. Shout out to Mike, man.
We're gonna get Mike, man. But man, you know, thank you guys for tuning in. We want to thank our special guest, Justin Stanley, for coming on. Man, if you guys have any suggestions of people you want us to interview, definitely send those names and contacts, because a lot of the names y'all names that we just don't have no way to get a hold of them. So send the contacts along with the suggestions. Follow us on Instagram at the Rec Center Podcast, and press the subscribe button on our YouTube channel at the Rec Center. I'm Kenny Edwards for Lorenzo Parham. We out.